If you don't get that bullshit out of my face, bitch, on this week's episode of Cartoon Buffoons, I'm Wyatt, and wait a minute, I'm White. And who is here with me today, as always?
Hello, I'm Morgan, and you dare question the word of the mighty Jimmy?
And who is our very special guest for today's episode?
It's a me. It's the dog man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The dog man? That's
Yes, that's it.
yeah, go by.
It's
All
a
right.
me.
So Wacky Delhi, the YouTuber, is on here finally at last. I think this is the first time we've actually collabed in a real sense, because you made a cameo in my Camp Lazlo video years ago. And then that's it. That's and maybe I contributed something or whatever. Like, I've definitely, like, over the years, people have asked me, like, hey, want to record one line of, like, reading something, you know, like Pan Pizza or whatever. Recently, like, Beach Ultra, you know, asked me to record stuff for a video. But no, this is the first time, you know, one guy with 1,000 subscribers and somebody who's much more popular than him, being like, come on here, let me feed off of your clout. And what's a better show to do it with than the Boondocks, baby?
Oh, dude, you're gonna be so shocked when all 30 of my active followers flood the page.
That's
So
yeah.
excited.
This will be so good. Yeah, I would. Oh wait, not to do a dick measuring contest right here. And this isn't. Again, this is not. I am truly not trying to be like I'm better than you, but I was actually kind of shocked to see that my video on Primos did better than your much better, more informative video on the show. So,
Oh, the better video where I complain for 40 minutes about
That's-
people
but
on
look,
Twitter.
but you did a good job breaking down the situation and, you know, informing people that may, you know, have only heard of it from the outside and not had like a complete idea of what was going on. You know, in my video, I tried not to get too much into the drama or any of that stuff that happened, you know, pre-release, and just kind of focus on the show itself, my opinions on it.
Yeah, I think
So-
it's good to have a review where you actually talk about the show
Yeah.
instead of everything around the show.
So in a
Because
way,
you can
I'm-
actually bring in fans. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing with your video. You actually made new fans of the show.
yeah, which is nice.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That there wasn't, in the grand scheme of things, there wasn't that many people in the comments that were mad. I got more grief for the Stugo video than I did Primos because of all the stupid like saber fart people that came and flocked into the comments of you know, like all those like weird John K guys that just like it came into being and were like mad that I liked Stugo. So it's just like, I don't know. And then they sometimes will comment on these episodes. So if you're watching, hi everybody. You know, how's it going?
Yeah. Hi. You should duck. I got the gun. Like, truly,
Yeah.
it's so weird. I don't know. I don't know what you gain. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a show. And I'm like a D1 hater. I'm a D1 hater. I love hating. It's like so good.
Yeah.
But like they don't hate with like love in their heart. You know, I'm a joyer. I actually have more joy than I do hate, even though I do.
And I'll just say, look, you're a hater, right? But I've constantly said that it's like, look, I think John K's a piece of shit, but like Ren and Stimpy, the show, I still really enjoy. You know,
crazy.
All the like I talk about that all the time whenever we're
like
doing
the
like pilots and
defender.
everything. You know, if that's like similar, when we get to a pilot that's like, this is like a shitty Ren and Stimpy, I'm always like, this is why it's not as good as that show. You know, like these are the elements that, you know, make it not as good. Like that it loses that sauce, so to speak. Even, you know, stuff that's like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we don't need to keep talking about this. But yeah, I just wanted to, you know, celebrate Delhi. You know, you coming on here and talking about the Boondocks. You know, we're here. I think there was another show that I wanted you to be on, but then it didn't work out due to whatever. Maybe like Robot Jones or something like that.
It was I think like ages ago it was like Mike Luanog.
Oh
Because it
well,
was
that's
like
Tariq was on that episode. So
yeah, because we were like the only two people that like
right.
cared about that show.
On the
And
island.
then later down the line, you were like, well, Clarence is a thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is a thing that I've talked about.
And
You
then
know,
what is it? Tariq also came back for Estel by Ginger. That was the other show that he did, which is I mean, that's like one of the best shows that we've talked about, period.
Yeah.
On
Jesus.
this entire podcast. Because, we did like a month of talking about Nickelodeon shows. And just like right now where we're doing a month talking about Adult Swim shows. And I guess I should explain to people that are listening to this, that listened to the last episode and thought that they were getting home movies. I'm sorry. I fucked up and I lost my file for home movies. So we just had to sit down and re-record a new episode. I had just been watching through season 3 of Boondocks, so Morgan was just like, hey, why don't we just do the Boondocks? So it's nice. It's fresh in your mind. It's easy to do.
Yeah. And I've had a very busy week. And
Yes.
as someone who is, black and a millennial, I've seen every episode of this show more times I've seen my own shadow. So,
Yes.
this is something we could just talk about very easily.
I definitely like.
as a black Zoomer, I was watching this in utero, so it's
Right.
pretty much adjacent.
Yeah, and I was like, if I'm gonna get a guest, I can't possibly get a white guest. So I was like, well, but also, it wasn't just. Like, oh, I gotta pick one of my black friends to do this.
Why it's like, let me get these tokens in this motherfucker.
No,
Why it's like,
first of all, I'm the token white guy in this episode.
You are.
But
Tonky o'clock.
but
Kill
second,
him, kill
we
him. I'm
like
kidding.
Deli and I were just talking about Boondocks like a day before this decision was like I was talking about season 3 and like going through it and like some of the episodes I really enjoyed. Like right before this, so I was like, oh, might as well just ask them to come on and do this episode. And now here we are. We're going to be talking about the Boondocks. So I want to ask you, Deli, what is your history with the show before we get into it? And then also, because this is your first time on Cartoon Buffoons in general, I guess start with your history of like, what's your history of Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, etc., like that channel, then transition to being more specific about Boondocks.
Okay. I think like when I was a kid, probably considered myself a Nickelodeon kid, but we got all the channels, so it really didn't matter. Like I watched a little bit of everything. I think I didn't get around to watching a lot of the real classics, like until I was 9 or 10. It was maybe like on Boomerang.
Right.
They threw on Dexter, Powerpuff, Courage, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken. So there's like a few, I guess, blind spots. Like I didn't really watch Ed and Eddie until later. The Kids Next Door even less so. Shit like that.
That's a weird thing. I learned that Ed and Eddie was like nobody in Canada watched it. Like, because I was asking a bunch of my Canadian friends, like, hey, do you want to come on and do the Ed and Eddie episode when we got to that? And they're like, it just didn't air in like on Teletoon or YTV or whatever. And then which was very surprising to me just because of how Danny Antonucci is, like I won't say he's like pro Canada, but he's anti-America at least. So there's like,
well, the show's like it's a little American. It's making fun of us. So
yeah, it is kind
us.
of it is very Americana-esque despite being created by a Canadian guy. But there's like obviously there's cultural crossover. But continue, please.
Yeah. I think like I missed a lot of the Cartoon Network stuff when it was airing, but the Adult Swim stuff for some reason was always on my radar.
Cool.
So I got into like Family Guy, Futurama, home movies, pretty young. Like I think, honestly, at this point, I would be known for either talking about preschool or Canada, or Phineas and Ferb.
Right.
And I like before any of those things really like I gave a fuck about any of them. I would say the Adult Swim library predates them. So Boondocks, was kind of just like right in that pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And there were certain things that stood out to me in the process of it. It's like, you don't like always understand. You laugh at jokes that you don't necessarily understand to the T.
Right.
But then over time, you learn more about the stuff around it, and it makes it a lot richer.
Mm-hmm.
And Boondocks is one of those pieces of media where it just keeps iterating on itself, even when it's not currently in production.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I can obviously speak to that pretty well as a white guy who, watched it first when it was airing and like 2000. I'll get into my story later, but that's coming back to it now, having a whole life's worth of knowledge about a lot of these jokes and the nostalgia for that time period really helped me like realize just how clever and funny and whatever else a lot of the jokes were in the show. But yeah, Morgan, how about you? What's your history with the Boondocks?
My history with the Boondocks is I watched it the entire time.
Right.
It's weird. It's one of those shows where like I have such a strong connection to it because I remember when season 1 dropped, right? Mm-hmm. I remember when season 2 dropped. I remember when season 3 and 4 dropped. So it's a lot of that, and like my entire family watched it. I have a older cousin who's like very cool, I guess. Mm-hmm. That might be the wrong word. She kind of sucks, but she's cool. Yeah, sure. And she like had it on DVD, and on stuff like that, and like let me borrow. I remember vividly she like gave it to me, like the season 2 DVD she had, and Boondocks is like a cartoon head, felt almost unlike a cartoon in a way. Mm-hmm. It felt so deeply cultural and like a kind of situation where it's kind of hard for me to sit back and like objectively look at it,
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think it falls to like the same category of stuff like wow, I'm gonna sound black as shit for a second. Like Baby Boy and like other shit that like is so ingrained in like my uncle or someone had to put something on. We have this DVD in the house. Mm-hmm. I think like the growth of it also of like as like what it touched on culturally is really interesting because Boondocks is a show that feels dated at times, but it kind of needs to in a weird way. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to like reflect a very specific Black experience of the time frame of which it came out. So like I feel like it loses something if it wasn't dated, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think that adds to the charm going back to it for sure.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, there's an episode about Katrina. There's an episode about like even like later, like in season 3, like the starting the season with the Obama episode. So like these, like even if that's like late into the show, it still felt really nostalgic to me, especially now in our fucking nightmarish presidency that we're going through currently. Not to get too much into politics here in this podcast, but
now, Wyatt, I have literally like played the anthem of the Communist Party.
Right, that's true. Yeah. I'm not saying no politics are allowed in the podcast. I just don't want to get too much into the whole like, is Obama, was he bad? Was he good? Like.
Yeah, Wyatt doesn't want to get into that. The answer is yes. Anyway, but yeah, like it's such a show that like I have so much nostalgia for a lot of episodes and the way it was made, and I was really excited to rewatch some of it for this, and it's funny. I have a lot of takes that I'm excited to get into, but it's a show that means so much to me, and also my mom, and also my family, so they might not want to listen to this one.
Sure. Speaking of family, it was I've talked about it before, but my sister, as well as my oldest brother, but he wasn't living with us at the time, were both Black, and I learned a lot about like being not a piece of shit as a white child due to that. Not saying that I'm perfect or the ultimate ally or anything, but there's like very basic things that I feel should be completely normal, easy to follow things that a lot of white people just cannot, comprehend. I always I always get very confused about the idea of like people being eager to say the N word and like the N word pass and things like that. I understand that it's a joke from the perspective of black people, but for like, there are white guys that are like, oh man, if only I could say it. I'm just really eager to, like, without being racist. I just want to say this racist thing.
Can the homies let me say it, please?
It's the holy grail. It's the Rosetta Stone of whiteness.
Yeah, so White, you got like a lot of payoff from being told multiple times growing up, you can't be talking like that, white baby.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
That's the
yeah. And I love my sister, and she, she was the one who was like watching a lot of Adult Swim at the time because she was a teenager. And when I was like 9 years old or whatever, when I first got cable and we were watching Adult Swim, and she introduced me to stuff like Family Guy, like Futurama, like home movies, the three things that Delhi mentioned. But then, of course, a couple years later was Boondocks, which I think was like 2005 when it came out. Let me make sure that I'm not... Yep, 2005. So I was like 10 years old at that point. So yeah, I don't know, that was one of those things where I was able to enjoy it for like the funny kid antics of Huey and Riley, even if like a lot of the stuff just kind of like went over my head. But I ended up watching the first season a lot, like to the point where anytime I watch the first season, I'm like, I've seen this episode a million fucking times. And then even into the second season, I was like, oh, I'm probably not as familiar with it as I am the second season. No. Or the first season. Like, no, absolutely. I've seen all those episodes like a ton, just because that was when I was really watching Adult Swim and getting really invested in TV and being a real cartoon nerd. And then like same thing with like season 3. I remember that being new at the time because 2010, that was like a big cartoon nerd year because of Adventure Time and Regular Show, and My Little Pony. But I have like a lot of that. There's like a lot of emotions and nostalgia and things that are like tied up into that, into the show. And there's a lot of like, even though it's something that's not made for me, I really enjoy watching or experiencing art and things like that are not reflective of my experience, that are reflective of somebody else's experience. I know that this is a very low bar to cross, but for some reason people are just like, I don't know, I remember when Turning Red came out, people were like, I can't relate to this because I'm not a 13-year-old Chinese girl. I'm like, I'm a 30-year-old white guy, and I think that it was an excellent movie, and I related to a lot of elements. Why can't you just find the commonalities between your life and the life of this person?
If you want something specifically for you as an older white guy, go watch a Steven Seagal movie. He drops like 14 a year. Get the fuck out of my face. Leave Turning Red alone.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, that's the same thing with this, where it's like, in some ways, like, yeah, I don't really relate to the experience, but in a lot of ways I do, because I was also, like, a millennial growing up in the early 2000s. I experienced a lot of this culture secondhand, and, like, the pop culture and everything, like, all the jokes and references, like, these are all things that I can now, as an adult, look back on and be like, yeah, that was, like, something from the time. Now, this show is a satire, so it does take things. It's kind of similar to like, what's that fucking guy that did like Fritz the Cat, and why is his name leaving me? Shit.
I thought you were going to say like the low hanging fruit. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on.
Yeah.
But do you mean like do you mean Robert Crumb? Oh, hold on.
Well, there's Robert Crumb. And then also like Ralph Bakshi, like those people who would do like kind of racist or crazy depictions of like stuff in order to be like, not necessarily because they were malicious people, but just because they were trying to be countercultural or like create some kind of satire or do something like that. Obviously, like I'm not saying you can't think that there was something wrong with Robert Crumb, but
crazy you want to Fritz the Cat instead of like, I don't know, South Park. It's bonkers to me that your first one was Fritz the. You're like, all these counterculture shows, move all these popular shows. Not you guys.
Yeah, right.
There you part of the podcast. We will now talk about people who annoy you.
I am sorry. I wasn't a huge I did watch a good amount of South Park, but I wasn't as big into it as a lot of people. I'm gonna be honest. It's mainly because of the anti-Jew jokes from I'm not saying necessarily I'm not saying that Matt and Trey Parker are anti-Semitic at all for creating a character that was. I'm just saying that as a kid, as a Jew, it kind of gets to an annoying point at school and things like that when people are making a bunch of those jokes at you that even if you know that they don't really mean it, like they're not actually. Some of them did just turn out to be real white supremacists, like neo-Nazis. But
I don't think you need to clarify, like, even though they didn't mean it. I feel as though it's that like when people start coming up to you, I feel like it doesn't really matter if they mean like I feel like wrong. They're still like you don't have to like give these guys a benefit of the doubt. No, like fuck these guys. Like even if the show was like whatever, but like you don't gotta go. I don't think these guys are really.
But that's why South Park didn't come to my mind. I was trying to think. I was thinking of like Art Crumb and Ralph Bakshi, just because like those, to me, like it has the same kind of vibe, like especially like Heavy Traffic or something like that, like where it's this very naturalistic dialogue. It's trying to be like very close to real life, whereas South Park is a little bit more heightened and cartoony. Definitely has its like down to earth elements to it, but this show, obviously this show eventually gets into like big anime fight scene. Like season 3 just has like multiple huge Sakuga anime fight scenes.
Even season 2 also, but like I guess the thing that like I don't know, did anyone hear? I'm about to sound old as shit. Does anyone remember like Source magazine?
No,
vaguely.
That's like what like the strips and shit was in. And like my mom's one of those older women that don't throw away magazines. So like if you go to her house right now, she has like a stack of Game Informers I had growing up.
Cool.
And she also had like some of these and shit, like and like Essence and all that kind of shit. So like I remember like I never read it, but I do remember like talk about like the strips, the comic strips and all that kind of shit. It's weird. I've always put Boondocks in a, like, even though it is closer to the stuff you gave, I always, like, put it in a Peanuts category in a weird way.
Yeah. Oh, especially the jazz piano in the background is huge, like, Peanuts vibes. So it's like, whenever they do, like, a Peanuts reference, I, make the soy jack point, I point at the screen and everything. Like, during the, like, they had the kickball episode. And like Riley going up to bat and then missing and flying in the air just like Charlie Brown. Good stuff. Thank you. And it makes sense, obviously, like you said, it was a comic strip. And I think Aaron McGruder is like a pretty nerdy guy. Like
no fucking way. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No.
Like that's
this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah. Like that's that it's always, it kind of is true for every creator that we talk about, or every like show that has like one very strong creative mind. But like Aaron McGruder, like I feel like people they hyper fixate on the political activism, like that idea of like, oh, he's like Huey's like a mouthpiece for him. Which is maybe true to an extent, but I think that I think that he's dividing his personality amongst all the different characters. Like the fact that they have the Lando Freeman episode in season 3. The idea that like Riley and like Uncle Ruckus and characters like that just they have like this in-depth knowledge of Star Wars is just like like that's clearly just the writers,
So
being like, it would be like, look, we're making this joke. It would be funny if this character, even though it doesn't make any logical sense why this little boy would care about, Billy D. Williams. We're just gonna make a joke about it because it's funny.
I will say though, one of the like things that has always made like Boondocks work for me, and also just like across the board, like the way the show's written and why the political stuff like floats to the top a lot of times, is that like I think it's underestimated how like into nerd shit the average black person is. Cause like I don't know anyone in my family who doesn't know who Blade is or Orlando.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
It's very easy. Like if you make something like even nerdy that like has a prominent black person in it, at least in my hood, black people are gonna go, I'm a look. I'm a look. I remember I remember like my uncle telling me that like when the reveal of Darth Vader being Luke's dad came out, right? I remember just like this. Is Luke mixed? Because how is that possible? Like I remember like the idea of Darth Vader is like, Darth Vader's black. What the fuck is this? And I'm like, that's crazy to think about now, like in my age. But imagine being back then to watch a movie going, huh?
Yeah, because then like, they didn't think of like Anakin. They just thought of like, oh, it's Darth Vader and James Earl Jones does the voice for him.
Like even if you like watch old clips of people like seeing the movie and stuff, like there's like a lot of black people like I fucking love Darth Vader, bro. He's doing it. Like I'm like, oh yeah, they're projecting onto Darth Vader as like the cool black. I'm like, oh wait, hold on, you're I don't know, and just like, but I think like, but like I think also like when you think about like stuff like Wu-Tang and other shit's happening, there's just strong influence of like martial arts movies and anime, and I'm going to get specific, Ninja Scroll and all that shit all over so much of black culture at the time. And I think Boondocks is so good at just like also being dripped in it because like, yeah, it's him as a creator, but it's also like a lot of the culture he's been around.
And I think a lot of the staff as well, not just Aaron McGruder, but a lot of the people that are doing the writing and storyboarding, and there's obviously like a good amount of like South Korean like creators working on the show. I know eventually Studio Mir does the animation. I think they do it for season 4, but I think that or even before that, I think there was still some crossover between like creative staff that worked on Avatar that worked on this, because there's very similar art style to it, like especially in season 3, which I just watched, just because they have that like faux anime art style, like anime inspired, but it's not quite like Teen Titans where it's like really cringy, where they're doing the like, they turn into like chibi.
That's strange.
Yeah, truly. Like I'm the mean to Teen Titans one. You're just like fucking cringe ass Teen Titans bullet. I guess Delhi, do you have like any like standout episodes from like the first? I guess we'll break it to like the first half and then the second half because they're so different of like the first 2 seasons of Boondocks.
Well, my favorite episode overall is Tom, Sarah, and Usher. I felt like there was just so much nuance injected. I mean, Tom is just like the great.
I love Tom.
But there's like so much nuance to that shit. It's like after that point, like he didn't really go back to who he was before. No. Like there were so many shades of. And I mean, like watching him suffer was also like pretty peak.
Yeah,
the
like
fucking music video. It's like a vocal stim at this point,
Yeah.
I mean, him singing "Let It Burn" is like the version of "Let It Burn" in my brain sometimes.
Right.
But he went from being just like the Uncle Tom joke to like, no, we got to give him like some depth, like. You know that it's over. You know that it's true. Let it burn.
Let it burn. Let it burn.
It is like it's like it's such a good episode because like it really shows that like Cedric as a voice actor is maybe some of the funniest performances in the show. Sleeper Hit, he's so funny. Tom's voice is like, I think if you like said, hey, what is a like retail voice a black person has to use? And he does it, but also he's able to inflect up, down, or sideways. There is no performance happening, it feels like this is just a guy. And it's so funny every time Tom is on screen doing anything.
And his like crying, like whenever he has like, like just like talking on the phone, And obviously the fact that they lean on the joke of him, not wanting to get anally raped in jail, in like that's his season wide or like across like multiple seasons. It's like a joke. That is definitely something that has aged poorly, I believe.
Bad, yeah. No, but I think it's such a credit.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's such a credit to Tom as a character that like even as like in modern like this isn't a thing we should be joking about, right? Is that it doesn't even like scratch how many funny episodes Tom still has. Yeah. I think it's like a real strength because like I think about all the time he has some of the funniest episodes and interactions with Riley specifically.
Yeah.
They don't even have like a normal conversation ever really, but it's just so much of Riley reacting like just God, you were such a bitch. And
the basketball episode in season 2 is so fucking funny, and then that his ending, like him finally like breaking and like just like cursing over and over again. That's just one of it's just like such a good moment for that character. And like I'll even say that like the Booty Warrior episode, again, like as fucked up as like those jokes are now, like in a modern context, like it's at least nice to get like it's good to give him like that arc where he actually like asserts himself and then and I also really enjoyed the like Huey and Riley like working out a list of demands with like the inmates, and then like at the end when the opportunity like slips through their fingers and they realize that they've squandered and everything, like the one inmate kind of like having this like self-reflection of like I would do anything or I'd give anything to like do it all again, and it's like wow, that's some real emotion in like such a crude kind of like offensive episode that's about this like dark subject matter people are like taking as a joke. Like I think that's one of the strengths that Boondocks has, is that it can really like walk this tightrope of that sentimentality and comedy, and it never really feels overbearing or like trite whenever it tries to like lean into the sentimentality.
I do think like it feels trite a few times for me personally.
Sure.
But when it does, it's so funny that I'm okay with it.
Sure. Yeah.
I could write a book about why the Martin Luther King episode is lame as shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But nowhere in that book will I say the episode wasn't funny. That's the thing.
Right,
I will go like I think there's like a lot of listen. I'm the woke black friend everyone has. I can say it.
You're that picture of the lady that says the friend who's too woke. Like
no, exactly. I'm the friend that's talking to you about like how every aspect of our structure is anti-black. I'm that friend. So I do think there's like episodes like this. Yeah, this doesn't work for me because this is very much like a fucking I'm a pseudo intellectual who went to college. I think I'm better than you like mindset. However, never will I say that about an episode that's not funny. Like I think that's like one of the things that like lets me like enjoy Boondocks still, is that even if there's episodes where I'm like, this is kind of. I think for the time frame it was and the kind of thinking that was being done in the black community in a lot of places, I think like this is a lame idea, but also it's funny. It does bring us together, and I do respect that like people who worked on the show went, this is kind of dated, but I don't know. Like it's still good in its own way. I do think if we're going to talk about characters, we talked about Tom. Fuck, we didn't talk about the main three, but
we did. Yeah, we kind of just skipped. They have so much. We can talk about like the two kids and then Granddad as well. So Regina King voices both Huey and Riley.
Crazy. Crazy. They have such distinct voices, even though they sound the same.
Yeah,
I'm like obsessed with how Regina King performs both of those characters. I guess. First thing, Delhi, do you have like a preferred sibling between Riley and Huey?
No, I mean you kind of have to have both of them for it to work.
Yeah,
you do. I agree. I very much agree.
I think I slightly prefer like Riley's very funny. Don't get me wrong, but Huey, just because of all of the like anarchist leftist shit that he gets up to, I enjoy that. So there you go. That's the.
I think
rewatching it now as an adult, I'm like, yeah, I really relate to a lot of this.
I do love Huey a lot. I do think Huey's at his funniest when he's being cruel to Riley. It's rare, but like I think like he's gay, isn't he? Yeah. And he's my favorite rep, so that makes me gay too. Yup, it does. And like, listen, I know that's messed up, but I really want my own room. Like, I think whenever like little peaks of him still being a kid that like is like a little selfish and cruel come out, is my favorite Huey moments because it's always right. Like the episode where Granddad leaves them and there's just them stuck in the house, and Huey's whipping the dog shit. Yeah, go ahead. What do you want to say about it?
Because that shit was, I mean. What you kind of have to like watch it to like really process, like it was like full out warfare. Like Huey trying to keep Riley like on lockdown, like it's martial law and shit, and then breaking out, and then there's no food in the house because he spent all the fucking food money on a new fit. And so it's he literally has to ration the food out for Riley. He's like, fuck this shit. It's a great episode.
Yeah. It's also like it's a great political compass between like anarchy with no plan versus like actual structure. Like it's such a funny, like it's so good. I do also love whenever they fight because Riley just gets his ass beat, but it's so he just never stops. But it's so funny every single time.
Yeah, because it's like. He just has so much confidence that it's just always funny that, you know, but there is sometimes where it's like, oh, they are actually able to like put up a good fight, you know, like against
like power scaling becomes like complicated with these two.
Yeah. And later in season 3 when they're like getting hunted down by like the stink meaner, like, you know, all of his friends and everything, like they have like a fight against them and they are able to like, they can't win, but they're able to fend them off just enough. So it's like Riley does have some ability to fight. Like he's not just a complete loser, like, always getting his ass kicked and, you know, like eating shit.
If he was like in a public school, he'd be able to hold his own really, really well, you know? Yeah. I guess we should talk about, we should talk about Granddad, who like, every time I rewatch the show, I go, man, they should have took these fucking kids from him. I think it's every single time, like, they should have really took these fucking kids from him. You, like, damn. Granddad is so goddamn funny. Consistently funny. He reminds me of people I know in my personal life, and it's what makes me laugh so hard. Because the show does a great job of not giving too many details about anything. The show feels like nothing exists before the show started in a lot of ways, right? Yeah. Like, we get hints about Riley and Huey's parents. We get hints about, like, where Granddad gets his money from and, like, all the other stuff. But he really is just, like, an old, like, dude that's, like, trying to fuck. That's it. Like, that's it. Like,
and it's like...
What more do you need?
What more do you need?
It's just funny to have a show with, like, a horny old man where the joke isn't that it's, like, oh, he's... unattractive. The joke is like he is kind of hot. Like that's the there's like a little bit of there's a little bit of hot Granddad in there.
What does he do to these young women and men sometimes? What is he doing to them?
I think it's the hair.
That full, like, it's a good texture even though it got that full crescent back there, like is like receding, but he pulls it off. Also, I think the money helps.
That is true. the money, and we do see his penis a couple times in the early on, which is very
having
shocking.
The DVD version where like it's just like not edited and you can just see his cock. I'm like, yo,
I feel like it's like because I mainly watched the episodes as they were on Adult Swim, so like watching them again recently, like uncensored, I was like, oh man, this show was a lot more censored than I ever thought about. Like, I can't believe that they let this air. It would be one thing if it aired now, because I feel like things are a little bit more lax as far as censorship on TV. You can say shit without it being censored. But, you know, at the time, like 2005, I'm like, man, they were really going off on a limb. And I think it works because they're, like, obviously they're trying to create a realistic, naturalistic dialogue with the characters, so they have to include like a lot of cursing just very casually. So I don't know. And I think this is probably the first Adult Swim show to have the N-word in it, because eventually...
That can't be true. It probably is, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel
because I think the other shows, like, there have been racist jokes, like in Aqua Teen, or C-Lab or whatever.
There has to be an N-word in Aqua Teen somewhere. There has to be. Like, I know, like, I love that show, but I'm like...
I think that that's the realm of, like, internet edgelords at this time. TV, I still think they're like, no, white people making this show, you are not allowed to do that. Which is like, that's good. That's a good part of government regulation, the FCC being like, no, you cannot put this in, here for this reason, for the sake of like, stupid jokes or whatever. Like if you have an actual reason to use it, then there you go. But like, yeah, I think that because then Adult Swim in general, like, was very white at the beginning, it didn't have a lot of, like, diversity in the types of shows that were on it. Even, like, the most iconic shows, like, like Home Movies, it was, like, all the white voice actors playing all the characters. Like, you have Melissa, but, like, that's basically it. And, she's voiced by a white lady.
And her father, who's also voiced by a white... But, yeah. Like, you're right. I will say, I think something neat about going back to Granddad is that you would assume that Huey would bring in all the supernatural episodes, but every time there's something weird and, like, martial arts related, it's always a Granddad episode.
Yeah.
That's so strange to me in hindsight. Like, when he had the Kung Fu Killer Wolf Bitch. Easily one of the funniest episodes of television, by the way.
It is... howling because of the Mortal Kombat references mostly.
Wait, she was part of the Kumite? The Kumite? Like, it's like, whenever I say it in real life, I hear the noises of, like, martial arts attacks whenever I say Kumite. Like, it's so fucking funny. And, like, it shows, like, the fucking flashback of, like, oh, yeah, we have, like, a nice, like, a salad bar. There's, like, a continental breakfast. And then you meet some old friends. And then you fight to the death.
Yeah.
And her eating the chicken like this, everybody gotta die someday.
Just good.
And it has literally a joke that, like, I don't look. I think the joke of her, like, being mistreated in all her relationships is dark, right? But every single one of them going, this chicken is cold.
This chicken is cold.
It's like, it's so dark, but it's so funny. Just like
the exact same animation,
but just a new character put on top of it. It's so fucking funny. Also, the fucking, I'm like this, like, also mental abuse. You used the wrong detergent. It irritates my fucking skin.
Oh my God.
Like, I think, like, I think the thing that makes a lot of, like, dark, edgy humor not work is that there's not, like, a good core basis of joke writing. It just is, like, the joke is that Cartman hates Jewish people, right?
Yeah.
The joke isn't purely that, like, she's being mistreated. The joke, she's being mistreated by all John Wick style men, by the way.
Right, yeah.
They're all, like, John Wick style, like, assassins or other stuff. And they all have the same issue with her. Is 1,000 times funnier. Because you learn, like, oh, yeah, she's also, like, the strongest martial artist in the world. You go, you could have killed all those men, couldn't you? Yeah. It's, like, it's so fucking good and multi-layered.
And sometimes they do just, like... They just... like keep something like dark or depressing, like they don't like it maybe is like a little bit funny, but like some like the smoking with cigarettes episode, which we were talking about, like, because Cody also watched it because it has the Halloween jokes in it, but like the things that kid does are like really fucked up. Like they're not funny. Like they're just like not but it's so, you're kind of like in this position where it's like it's kind of funny because of how fucked up and dark it is, but also the show isn't necessarily like leaning on that too much as the humor. It's sort of just like the joke is more of a meta joke of like, like taking that kid that he's based on, and taking it to its natural extreme of like, what if he was like a serial killer? Like, what if he was like, and then taking that even further and like, what if he was like a supernatural, like Michael Myers style, like there's a deep darkness inside of him.
When he gets thrown off the roof and gets up, I started crying. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, man. Like, and just like slowly limping. I guess we talked about the characters. We have to talk about the uncle in the room.
I'm just gonna not comment on it.
Uncle, as I've gotten older, I think the Uncle Ruckus joke has like diminishing returns. Mm-hmm. Which I think I think he's like the funniest character in the show if you're like not really into the show, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Like if you're into the show for like being like, oh, I want to have this like crazy audacious show about black culture.
Yeah.
Like if you're just surface level looking at it, then like, oh, haha, it's funny, like that, like this is the funniest character. But if you're really invested in the show and you love all the characters in the world and everything, and you
he kind of stops being funny
nuance.
real quick. Like he stopped being as funny like real fast. But I do think like the backstory episode for him is really fucking funny though.
Yeah. That's another one that has the like repetitive like getting smacked in the same way like 3 times, for like increasingly stupid reasons.
I love people like, guys, I think I'm actually black, and everyone like, yeah, no shit, nigga, what are you talking about? Yes. I thought I just had revitalized. I also think it's funny that I noticed from behind the scenes that Garrett the Anthony Williams and the guy that voices Tom don't like each other. I don't know why that tickles me. I don't know why that it's like a joke behind the scenes that they don't fuck with each other.
Yeah.
Like on the show. I don't know why.
Commentary.
Yeah, it's like it's so funny. Like the two versions of like corrupted by white society black people don't like each other, which is real. It's like the liberal who only dates white women versus the Republican who only dates white women.
Yeah.
And they fight in a parking lot with knives.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I'll try not to overstep, talking about Uncle Ruckus and everything.
I guess,
but go ahead.
Deli, do you have like a favorite side character that's not like the main guys, the main five we talked about?
Probably a pimp named Slickback.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
What another really funny character and performance. Cat Williams has a moment every year that makes me go, he's really funny. We should lock him up.
Right.
Yeah. It really should have been last year, honestly. Everything.
It really should have been last
happened.
year. Because like he don't ever break the law, but I'd be like, we can't let you be saying the shit you say. I think this is doing damage.
Yeah. You're gonna like genuinely like upset like the current world.
Yeah.
Talking.
Like he's gonna have like a JRPG style like rant one time, and like it's gonna summon like a primal force. And we're gonna be. We're all gonna
it's
be.
Like I love you, Cat, but I need my tax refund this year.
Yeah.
You're gonna fuck that up for me.
He's like, look, I'm gonna tell you all a secret. Underneath the earth is an ancient dragon that I control, and he's gonna make it come out and just start destroying cities. Pim Back, the episodes with him are very funny. Again, fucking dark joke, but he's no, it's like a Tribe Called Quest. You gotta say the entire thing. Maybe the most iconic line from the show is that it's a Pim Things. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. It's really good. Why do you have one?
I think Ed Wensler would be like, he's just so. I just love craven capitalist characters. They're just so funny. And like Ed Asner is just so fucking funny.
Bitch, if you don't get the fuck out of my face.
That's my favorite line from the show. Like favorite just like little line from the show.
It's also such a good, like you're right about Ed Asner. It's a fantastic line read. Like because the thing
don't
is,
get that bullshit out of my face, bitch.
It's like up there with like his performance in Up. I don't know how to put it, but like both of them are like the peaks of him as a voice actor. Just like Up, this heartfelt old grumpy old man, and Ed Wensler, like
just like the most like deplorable fucking person. I would say the other character who gets like a lot of episodes, Thugnificent. He just gets like a lot in season 2 and 3.
That's another.
He only got like 3 appearances though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he got 1 more cameo, and that was it.
Yeah.
But his story was really rich.
It was really. It had a great arc, and he's another like Carl Jones is a voice actor. Is another guy that like does a fantastic job of line reads because like again another meme that's made from this show like this. Like damn. What did he do to make them niggas that mad? Like it's like such a perfect like line read of like just real inquisitiveness. And yeah, like seeing him like go from like, you know, big star to like broke again and like other stuff was really
he's
fun
like
to see.
an Amazon delivery guy and
yeah.
And then like that like the scene of him like trying to sell crack. And then there's like the really like dapper crackhead that shows up and is like, is this
I like one of your
sir?
cracks, good sir.
Yeah.
Also, Magnificent. The other joke I think about a lot is we this. Hey, does anyone know what time it is? My eyes. What? I'm so blind, I can't see anything. Damn, nigga. And they just all start looking at their watches and they can't see anything. God, it's such a literally. I think when the show has guest voice actors. Like Busta Rhymes and everything, having him on to be his crew, and that scene is so funny. Like it fucking killed me. Like the way they all had such a great time. Obviously, speaking of that, voice actors, I also think like Remy and Ed Wuncler the third, another 2 funny characters.
Yeah.
I think this show's ability to go. We need 2 of the most iconic black voices to voice these 2 evil white boys, and going Samuel L. Jackson and Charlie Murphy is such a good pick.
Yeah. It's like
I don't think Leonard gets enough credit either, to be honest. We need to talk about Leonard. Because he always tries to do right by everyone, and he just keeps fucking it up.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole, you know, I don't know, the episode where there's the fried chicken flu that's going around, and, you know, the joke about buffalo wings and everything, like, yeah, that's a good...
I do. Leonard is like such. I think he makes the later episodes with Thugnificent work so well.
Yeah. Because
Thugnificent is like, oh, they're like this. Yeah, you know, I be in the kitchen. I be making the burgers, the fries, the nuggets. I be having that whole thing set up. You know, I'm like working paycheck to paycheck, and I'm bringing it home. I'm grinding, and like. Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's just helping. Like, he's just helping out. It's such a funny bit.
But also the fact that he's so like, he's not like, he's being taken advantage of, and he's so willing to help out with no benefit to himself at all. And he's just him being like, oh yeah, I guess I gotta work at Wendy's for 87 hours a week. You know,
is there any like Thugnificent X Leonard shit on AO3? I'm gonna check that.
I know
there should
be pretty
be.
good. Yeah, that's good.
They should. They're basically married. They're common law married.
Yeah.
And I think that you know, speaking of gay, the Gangstalicious, his plot and everything.
Yeah. I was just about to bring him up because I misspoke earlier. He's the one that has like 3-4 episodes.
Yeah.
He has like a really rich story.
Because he gets 1 in season 1 in season 2, and not really anything in season 3. You know, I just finished it, and I actually, you know what, I'll admit, did not watch any of season 4 before recording this. Didn't have the time, unfortunately, but we can still talk about it.
Yeah, I did, but yeah, we could. But yeah, no, I think like Gangstalicious is like also voiced by Mos Def, really good performance. It's really funny. But yeah, Gangstalicious' arc is like so interesting.
Yeah, the part 2 is one of my favorite episodes of the whole show. Like that, like the rock and roll gangster, like, you know, montage and everything. That whole scene is like so. It's both really funny because of the, you know, the scene that you mentioned before with Huey being like, I know it's messed up, but I really want my own room. And then like Riley going to Granddad and like admitting he's gay, and they're both like crying and holding each other.
It's okay if you're gay.
Like, yo, you're my little gay boy. You know?
In a show that like is so steeped in like homophobia as a joke, it gets weirdly sincere in those episodes.
Yeah.
Like.
So it proves to me that the people making the show, like, they are not homophobic. They're just examining the culture of homophobia, you know, for 2005 or whatever, like that era. And, you know, like maybe they have some of these beliefs themselves, like in smaller ways, but overall they are sympathetic and, you know, want to like lift these people. It's sad. It's like depressing.
Yeah.
And horrifically tragic that Gangstalicious at the end of the second episode has to be like, oh no, I'm not gay. Everybody else is just wrong about that. And then like Riley believes him. Like that's just so fucking sad. Like the whole, like everything about that is not framed in a funny or triumphant or ironic way or anything like that. It's like,
kind of like a tragic episode. Yeah. I will say the song "Homies Over Hoes" is hilarious though.
Yeah.
And every time I watch the episode, definitely top 5 in the show. Every time I watch it, I like have that song stuck in my head. Just homies. The funniest bit is when he calls a pimp they slick back. Like, you know about homies over hoes? No, I do not know about. There's a lot of things I put over hoe. I put a turkey sandwich with the perfect amount of mayonnaise over a hoe. But the homies, no, never. And he's like, sound like some gay shit to me. Fucking kills me every single time. Like, it's so. Also, but before we get, do want to talk about the music in the show. But before we get there, I have to give a rare shout out to Tara Strong for the first time in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's what
it's Cindy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because it's like, you know, close to her heart, but she does such a good job playing an evil snow bunny culture vulture white girl in this show. Cindy has maybe some of my favorite jokes in this whole show sometimes. Like, she's in like 3 episodes, but when she's in an episode, she's fucking in an episode. Like, the first time we see her is on the basketball field where she's just like, God, like, the whole episode's super funny. And we're like, oh, I know how to get to her. Hold on. Right? Like, yeah, they caught your mom throwing neck and it wasn't your daddy. Like, oh, daddy. And when she comes back to the Big Cell episode, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, she's just there whipping other girls' asses for selling cookies on her block. And when she said, like, okay, as someone who's from Philly, Beanie Siegel is like a very famous rapper and stuff, Philadelphia's own. And he has like it's not a good movie, a really bad drug movie where he like keeps like he just like takes over the drug scene. All she does in that episode is quote that movie. That's all she's doing. Almost every line she says is quoting that movie like this. Yeah, Beans would have handled this. He says, get down and lay down. You know, Beanie Siegel would have us out here doing this like this. What does this little white girl from Woodcrest know about fucking Beanie Siegel? What's happening? And it's such a funny episode because of it. And Tara Strong, you know, that annoying voice works here. Like, I'm usually on her ass, but she did a pretty good job. I'm going through like the list of you know, there's of course Stinkmeaner, who is Cedric Yarbrough again, which is like kind of crazy that he can do both Tom and that voice. Like, that is, but I guess it makes sense in the season 2 when he gets possessed by him and it's like the Exorcist parody. The Stinkmeaner episodes feel like you're watching a different show for like
for sure. Minutes. Like it's like completely. It's insane. I feel like you like get a wrong impression that the show is just gonna always be like this crazy action and like ridiculous high stakes. The fact that, because we just watched it for the podcast Cody and I do, the 28 weeks later parody at the beginning of the season 3 Stinkmeaner episode. I was just like laughing my fucking ass off because it was something I had like just watched, so I knew, you know, I was able to like get the reference immediately. But there's also like in season 2 they have like the whole plot with BET that's kind of messed up because 2 of the episodes were like aired out of order. Like the Hunger Strike and Uncle Ruckus reality show were like aired at the end of the season, you know, or aired after the fact when they're supposed to be like in the middle of the season, and like it was. So I'm glad I
have like those on DVD because they can sometimes still be a little iffy sometimes. I will say, I think a lot of the politics of the Boondocks are like off key and like very much Black 2005 thinking, right? Not the BT episodes. Right. Like,
I was gonna say the like villain. like the evil head of BT being Deborah Wilson is just like, I wanted to bring that up just because like she's just so good, and she's
we want
like,
to kill BET. We want to kill black people. We have to destroy all black people. And I'm like, fuck, this voice is so fucking funny.
Yeah, the fact that she's like Dr. Evil and Cruella de Vil, you know, like combined. Yeah, it's just
like. The thing is, though, it's sometimes, though, when you, like, absorb BET or what they be doing marketing-wise, like, it really just do be feeling like that sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't know, man. I think I'll be having Jack Harlow too much on here. Right. I don't know what's happening. Like, it's such a funny episode that, like, I can see, like, why BET got mad. But also, fuck y'all. This shit is hilarious.
And then there's also the, the Tyler Perry episode in season 3. Where it's a fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show, like, parody. Whereas, like, when he showed up and started talking with a British accent, I was like, because I wasn't as familiar with season 3, I was like, why is he British? And then once I had started watching the episode and realized what it was parodying, I was like, oh, this is Tim Curry. Got it.
I do, like, one more episode to talk about before we go into, like, the music and, like, production stuff. I, like, remember vividly behind the scenes of, like, the S-word episode. And how, like, one of my favorite moments of voice actor work is when Fred Willard is in the booth having to record himself as the teacher that says nigga. And
nigga!
Nigga!
Real nigga roll call. Let's bleed. Nigga my nigga. Niggas for life.
Can a nigga borrow a fry? Nigga, is you gonna give it back?
Is you gonna give it back? Now how is a nigga gonna borrow a fry?
Him being in the booth and being like, guys, I don't know. And like all the other black people working on the show and cast and crew were like this. Look, we are literally here. We have to get this episode out.
Right.
We need you to get in here. And he just does it. And they're like outside the booth, like Aaron, the cast, all of it, crying, like just laughing so hard they're crying. And I'm like, I know Fred Willard had no idea to know that he is recording something that will exist in black culture for the next 400 years. Yeah. He had no clue that he was maybe the funniest TV day like this. Like, my inner voice didn't speak like this before. Like, it's so fucking funny. Like, also, like he says, like, there's a lot of words, like, you know, the N word and also the S word. The S word? What does it stand for? It's spear chucker. But I was in high school, middle school, no joke. If I got pissed enough, I was calling someone a spear chucker. Like, it was crazy. Like, that episode went triple plat in black high schools. Like, it's also the funniest episode, but also it's the episode where I'm like enjoying myself, laughing my ass off. But I'm looking at my white friends like, yeah, you don't laugh too hard though. You can laugh. Don't laugh too hard. I need like a good 60% laugh is the best you can do here. Like, mostly joking, but
I love any episode that has Granddad being like so craven and so like
me too for money.
Yeah, just like exploiting his grandchildren for money and doing stuff. Just being very like, I don't know. I just like that having a character like that being so like clearly in the wrong, but it's just funny. Who cares?
You know, like the episode's gonna go that route whenever Rollo Goodlove shows up and like, oh, this is about to be the most craven, evil episode of television you've ever seen in your entire life. Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the music of this show, which is like I think maybe the like. One of the most influential things about the show. Like the comedy's great and everything, but like Judo Flip is maybe one of the best openings in history of cartoons or animation, really.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like I could be in a different room, but I hear I am the stone, and I just start running to the room. I start running so I can wrap the whole thing with them.
Yeah, it's really good. It fit, and it also just fits with like Adult Swim always did have like, you know, a hip hop aesthetic to its like the bumpers and everything. They had like a lo-fi. That's why like I feel like Samurai Champloo as well with the Nujabes music. Like that just was a perfect fit for Adult Swim as well. And then just like the jazzy stuff for like the quieter scenes or the more emotional scenes is just so good. And then like all of the like original music made for it, like the fake in-universe songs.
Dude, Booty Butt Cheeks goes hard as
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Booty Butt Cheeks. And the thing is, the fact that they use those songs over and over again in universe is what makes me like them so much. They're not just like for one episode. They like even Uncle Ruckus, and I hate to sing this one.
Yeah.
Don't trust them new niggas over there is so funny. Like, just like, it's like, it's maybe his best joke because it just kind of sums up his entire bit in like such a funny little song. And then they start using it as like a back. He said it was a Negro in the fucking Catch a Free, but like that. It was a Negro spiritual. Don't trust them. And Granddad's like, don't trust them new niggas over there. It's not no fucking Negro spiritual. What are you talking about? And just screaming at him. Also, Stomp Him in the Nuts is another Thugnificent banger.
Yeah. And the dick riding Obama.
Dick riding Obama is... I know you've seen it already because I post it so often. George Clooney dancing to Dick riding Obama is maybe like the greatest joke of anything in my entire life. Just like, I don't know why they animated George Clooney like that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, thank God.
It's probably one of the few things that'll survive like 800 years in the future.
Right.
If the aliens come down and try to like figure us out. They're just gonna see this.
Is that the nigga from ER busting it down with Obama flying around behind him? Just like, it's also the Will.I.am and shit. God, my God, dude, it's crazy. Like, also, did George Clooney sign off on this? Probably not. They probably just like said, throw him in there. Fuck him.
Yeah, there is some surprising cameo. Like I think it was in the Obama episode, but there was, Bill Maher was in there, which I was like, and then I heard his voice. I was like, I recognize that fucking annoying ass voice. That is him. That is the real Bill Maher that's in there. Yeah, and I was just like, maybe he was less of a douche back in like 2010. So
I think he's only good in cameos because it's this and like Family Guy is like the only two times when he's been tolerable.
Right, yeah.
That's like religious.
Yeah, that does make me think though, because it gave me this dark vision of a modern version of Boondocks where he talks about the woke mind virus. Okay. So, this show pretty notably had a reboot in production at one point. Like, or was it in development, not production? Like
I'm pretty sure it was in development. They were like doing like thought stuff and casting stuff, but they didn't go full in yet.
Yes.
They had some animatics cooked up.
Yeah.
They had some voice work done.
But I'm sure that was for
they kept running
pitching.
into snags.
Yeah. So, and it unfortunately, like, it just kind of fell through. What I want to ask, what is your opinion on, like, should there be a reboot? Should they try again? Or was it for the best that it kind of fell through and we didn't get any more?
I guess, do you want to go first, Lily, with your opinion?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm glad that shit is dead.
Yeah.
We don't need any more.
Yeah.
I think, season 4 was already kind of like, pushing it a bit. Yeah, like the show is like, I think the show inherently is about the push and pull involved in, two extremes. And it's like represented in a lot of ways that the show chooses to like explore Black culture or like any like little facet of that shit. So them going super hard into the fantasy and like meta commentary, it doesn't really work. There were elements I saw the leaks that looked like they could be conducive to like a good story, but I just and like the fact that they did all that shit like around like John Witherspoon, it's like I'm not
right.
I'm good with that. I'm good off that. Three good seasons and 1-2 pack of ass. It's like I don't,
right.
Yeah, like
I'm
no,
good.
That's like exactly how I feel. I feel like season 4, even if there's a few jokes like that, I think work in season 4. It does feel like we're like running on empty here.
Yeah.
I feel as though when we make like a Keeping Up with the Kardashians parody that like has no bite to it whatsoever, I'm like, all right, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. I think also, the John Witherspoon stuff, when that shit came out, I was like, yo, we gotta kill this thing. I was so happy when it died. For those who don't know, he passed. He was supposed to be on a project, but he passed. And they were like, let's find someone to replace him. And the big story was that his son is a his son voice acts. His son acts and can sound just like his father. They decided, they're like, no, we could maybe like do like an AI thing or like other voice stuff instead. And I heard that, I was like, ooh, we gotta go. We gotta get the fuck out of here. I think the idea of like passing over his actual child to maybe do something else digitally is so grim. That I'm like, we should maybe just not. Also, I do think, I think even though like Aaron has like talked about like how he's grown as a person and like thinks differently and stuff like that, I don't know if we need more Boondocks. I feel like he like on other works that he's done, like I think Black Jesus and other stuff kind of gets the vibe that people like about Boondocks in a better way than like later Boondocks did, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the thing with a lot of reboots too. It's that like, I understand like a lot of these shows are like comfort food to people, but I would much rather see shows that were inspired by, those entities that like really just feel like the fucking impact of them. Like Wyatt knows that I bitch about the new season of Phineas and Ferb a lot.
Yeah.
Just on a conceptual level, I don't really agree with it. And I just think it's so interesting. That show in the original run was made mostly of like Family Guy, SpongeBob alum, other like like these people came off of like foundational points in TV animation, and yet most of those people don't have their own shows. They might like executive produce some,
so sad.
but it's usually IP shit. And I just don't understand why that is. It's like, I mean, what if, you know what I mean? It's it's like contributing to the rot, with Boondocks of all things would have been insane, especially since Carl Jones is a fucking gift. And like pretty much everything else he did after that was also like so worthy of praise.
There was a few like people who worked on Boondocks and then went on to do some other stuff. Like I believe that was the case with Cannon Busters, the like anime on Netflix, which was okay. it was pretty.
I had a fine time. Yeah, like
it was like a pretty good. Like I would put it in the same category as like Megalobox, like that kind of like. You watch it and you're like, that was good, and then like you kind of forget about it like a few years, but then you come back to it. Opening theme and ending theme, really, really good on that show.
Also, art design. That show, like, I don't know if you've seen the way I draw black people sometimes. Like I think like that art design of that show has affected my art bad. I'm like,
and the world of the show is so fucking cool that it does kind of make me wish that it got a second season so that it could like really improve and really like hit its stride.
Honestly, let me talk to the people that made it, and I'll just make a shitty D&D clone and season and fuck. But but I agree. Like I think, I don't know. I think Phineas and Ferb is the one that bothers me a lot because why? I don't want to talk about. I've never talked about Wyatt before. Why does not know this about me?
Right.
I don't know. Can I get another season of My Little Murphy's Law a little bit?
Yeah. Oh my god! Well, okay. Look, did you see that clip where because Weird Al is on tour right now, and like he worked in like a bit where he's like, oh, I heard that we're 38 seconds early into the next set. So this song, we're going to play this song because it fits exactly in that time. And he just plays the Milo Murphy Law theme. And it's at best, 7 people react. But like most of the time, it's just pure silence in the freaking stand. Like, Jesus Christ.
But like I would rather, like, I need these creatives to do other things, you know? Like even if they don't work, I just like, I don't want Reboot City, and I know we're there. And like if this is what we need to keep some places open for a little bit until we get original ideas, so fucking be it. But it is just like a bummer because like also like I didn't talk about it a little bit, but Black Jesus is a really fucking funny show that was on Adult Swim. It's like it was Aaron and also the guy from I think unless I'm high, I think it's Trailer Park Boys. Like that's such a funny 2 people to come together to create a show, like on very opposite ends of the spectrum. And like, you know, no one talks about it except for like Me and some niggas I know that loved it. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bummer.
It got 3 seasons. Jesus.
Yeah.
It went from 2014 to 2019. That's great. I love Adult Swim, man. The fact that they can just that any random shit can just get like 3 seasons is just like that's so good.
It rules.
Yeah. And I don't know. Adult Swim, I feel like they're still kicking. They still have like a lot of vitality to them. Cartoon Network is dead, but there's always the potential that they could revive it and try to do like a strong push for new creative ideas. But right now we're in this weird zone where all the shows that they're making that are Cartoon Network IPs are like, oh, this one is on Hulu and this one is on Amazon Prime and all this shit. Like, and a bunch of them are just going to Adult Swim. So there's part of me that's like, oh, I'm interested to see what more episodes of regular show are like. Even though I think that the show ended perfectly and it should just not be continued. Whatever. Adventure Time I'm a little more hesitant about because it's like we already have Fiona and Cake. I don't know if we need the side quests like spin-off thing so that because people are like I don't know. I think that first of all there's 10 seasons of Adventure Time. I know the final 4 are like all split up and everything, but like whatever. There's a shit ton of episodes of Adventure Time. It's not like there was more ground that needed to be covered that they need to be like, okay, let's do the side quest thing so that we can do kind of one-off episodes. Like, I don't know.
I literally have not seen Fiona and Cake for no other reason than, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You know how like humans have like the primal fear of like darkness?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about any more Adventure Time. I have like a primal like reaction in my body. Like I feel like a monkey in a cave hiding from a fucking T-Rex. I don't want any more Adventure Time. People are like, Morgan, it's really good. I said, that's cool. It's really good. I watched it as it was airing, all of it. And I literally cannot handle anymore. If I see a limb that looks a little noodly, I start screaming and I have to call my therapist.
Hold on, are those dot eyes with no nose that I see? What's going on here?
Dude, with the glob, I said, I'll kill us both. I'll fucking kill us both. I'll do it.
If I hear one more mathematical.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to do the thing in Wanted where she shot the bullet and it went through everyone's head and then it went through hers. I'm going to do that with a gun and end my life. I can't deal with it.
This is a powder keg related to this, but how do you feel about the Steven Universe spinoff that's happening? Or did you not know that? Yes. Yeah.
Why? How the fuck do you think I feel about it? Like, what the fuck do you mean? Meet your friend Morgan. Yeah, guys, you know what I can use right now? What if we got some Lars? When you love that? When you love like a Lars show, Morgan?
I love Lars.
Actually, no, wait. We need a Lars show. And then also, while we're making that, can you put a railroad spike right here to my temple and get a hammer and start pounding it into my
I think people are too mean to Lars. I think that
Dude, fuck Lars, dude, and his shitty fucking gauge ears and his fucking light skin and his red hair. I'm gonna start
light skin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The thing is, though, Lars also was my favorite character. Like, I'm also so fucking over it. I'm like,
well, yeah. I mean, I would rather something that's not Steven Universe. Like, I'd rather they just not make anything that's an old thing again ever. I would say that that's one of the ones where I'm like, okay, it's like they're focusing on this character. Like, what the fuck is this gonna like? The fact that it exists and is about that character makes me interested in the general sense of like they could have just done something lazy like regular show or like Adventure Time and just been like, whatever, Steven's a kid again.
But now
here's
like,
more episodes.
Now you get your $5 fucking goddamn woke pink space pirate Captain Harlock bullshit. I'm like mostly joking. I don't want to make clear. I am mostly joking. I don't actually hate Steven Universe like this or other stuff like this. I'm just sick of revivals. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like it's true. Like the show could be good, but me, Morgan, I don't want it. Like, was something like this? Oh, dude, you see those like Aqua Team Hunger Force shorts? What if they made a whole new season? I'm like, dude, I don't care.
Yeah, we did not need that. We do not.
I think it's the only revival that looks better than the original show on a technical level.
And that's
but
the
it
issue.
makes me feel worse.
Yeah.
No, like that's the issue. It looks so good. I'm like, oh, they're moving to different locations as this. Who wanted that? I want to show.
If you don't pull up After Effects.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
if you don't explode some shit so you don't gotta animate it anymore. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm really like disappointed that like things didn't go in that direction where they just like make a lot more miniseries. I think Cartoon Network was the only one to really
yeah, because that's the perfect middle ground of like, oh, let a creator get a unique idea out there, but there's not that much upfront cost to produce, or I guess there is a little bit of an upfront cost, but it's just the one, it's like Over the Garden Wall, or I mean, I know Infinity Train went for 4 seasons, but like, just one, you can just do one. Like, I'm sure a ton of people that are like in the industry have ideas that can be condensed to like 10 episode seasons. Not all of them are like the Final Space guy, where he was like, I have 8 seasons that must be. That's the only way that this show's story must be conveyed is through 8 seasons, or the fucking Dragon Prince people.
Wait, no, Delhi, I was gonna say, do you want to take a bet on if Wyatt's gonna complain about Dragon Prince? I was gonna say, do you want to take like a bet? Because when I tell you that Wyatt, like, this is something that like I can like feel an aura, like a fucking new type, like Char and like Amuro, of Wyatt somewhere just like stupid fucking Dragon Prince milking for more seasons.
The fact that they're doing a Kickstarter, not to fund a new season, but to be like, give us money and then we'll show that money to like to the fucking board of executives, and maybe they'll give us the go ahead to make a new season. That's like the most like, what the. You might as well just set your money on fire if you are fucking stupid enough to think that that's going to get through and work at all. Like, you assholes got 4 more seasons. 4 seasons of television after 3 that you already got, and you were still like, yeah, I think that we can milk this. I think we shouldn't end it on the 7th season, and we should milk it for 3 more seasons, and we'll just wing it and make sure that we'll give fucking people on Kickstarter to give us money. Fuck goddamn Dragon Prince.
See, they saw all those like fucking animated series getting revivals, and they're like the executives justifying with, well, there's a lot of world building, so we can do a lot more, and they were like, I want that.
Yeah,
but just money.
Bro thinks he's panty and stockings. I can't believe this.
I genuinely have more. I have more respect for the new Last Airbender series than I do for Dragon Prince. Like, I am.
Dude, the bar is in fucking hell. Oh my god.
The bar is in the core.
Yeah. I have more respect for a fucking sequel to Legend of Korra than I do for more episodes of like them using Kickstarter to get more episodes of the Dragon Prince.
I can't, like, I literally, like, I need everyone online to know. I won't talk about the show, and you don't want me to. You're like, I love hearing Morgan's opinions on cartoons. You don't want to hear my opinion on anything Avatar related. No one has wanted to hear that since I got death threats on Tumblr 10 years ago. No one wants to hear me talk about Avatar. I promise you. Literally in my private Discord with Wyatt and our friends, my only thing is to say like this: I fucking hate these honkies and their goddamn elemental bending show. And I'll argue the show is still pretty good, but just the culture around it is so dog shit.
Yeah, the people
that want more.
Yeah.
They're like a hop, a skip, and a turf away from just being goddamn Harry Potter kids. Like, it sucks.
Did you see that tweet about how being an Avatar adult is like being a Harry Potter millennial?
Right, it is very similar. I feel like. Because, like,
that's
look,
so
I will
brutal.
say,
that's so fucking brutal.
As a fan of the show and a hater of Korra, I do think that like there's a lot of things that are like in my mind kind of undeniably good about the show. So like, even if it gets to the point where it's like kind of cringe to like whatever, I'm still like, oh well, these episodes or these character arcs or whatever. Or these types of characters were all very well done and they're influential. But I'm also at the point where it's like, I didn't really like Korra. I really don't care at all about expanding the universe of like the main series.
Yeah.
I don't want like a weird sequel thing. I would rather you just make like a new fucking show. Like, because the third series is basically nothing like the previous two. Like, it's like radically different world and everything, which I would like. But the fact that it's still like, oh, one generation after Korra, you know, so it's still connected to that. It's still like in the Avatar universe, you know, it's still gonna like follow those rules and everything. It's just like a little bit disappointing because I know, like, I don't know, there are people that make make certain types of shows and then they explore an idea and then they're done with it and then they move on to a new idea and then they explore that. Like, that's what we were talking about with like Phineas and Ferb and everything. I may not have like watched any of Hamster and Gretel, but at least I respect it for existing and not just...
See, that's the thing, right? Because Hamster and Gretel, as much as it doesn't really deserve to exist,
right?
You saw it struggle and you saw it get better, and it at least, you know, Milo. There's a lot of things that could be said about Milo, but Hamster and Gretel knew what the fuck it was.
Yeah,
and it knew what it wanted to do, and it knew what fucking story it was eventually gonna tell.
Right.
And you know, I don't want that 3-way crossover. Dan can talk about it until he's on his deathbed. I don't give a fuck. Just bring it back. Give me a season 3. It's not that fucking hard. This show probably, you know, like the way BTVA's been, maybe it costs like $12 to make.
Right.
I don't know. Just fucking bring it back. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's like so exhausting. I think the issue with like to Avatar and also like to other stuff with like exploring these worlds is that everyone wants to be the new Tolkien, but no one's a pervert like him.
Oh yeah, he was a complete fucking
the reason why we could like explore his world over and over again is because looking at the cosmology of like Tolkien shit.
Yeah.
It's literally infinite. Like, that's why. But, like, the Avatar world is, like, very small. Like, but what about the spirit world? Nigga, it's very small. I promise you, there's not a lot interesting in there.
It's because, and also, look, they're just lazy with the way that they apply the idea of the infinite cycle of death and rebirth. They could literally have every season is, like, a wildly different time period and aesthetic and, like, you know, it doesn't always have to be, like, wuxia-inspired... You know, like, obviously you can stay in that realm of, you know, if you still want to, like, pay tribute to that, fine. But, like, you can do other, you know, being inspired by other, like, world mythologies or other aesthetics and things like that. You can do, like,
years in the future.
Exactly. Like, you can have, like, a super advanced thing and then that dies and then it's, like, you know, like, fucking Zelda does that. Like, that's not even... Yeah, I don't know. And to... act like Zelda has any consistent mythology to it. Like, people cope with the fucking with the timeline, you know, but that shit doesn't matter at all. I will say before we go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say before you. I was gonna say like also, and this is just a personal gripe. Being online as like a lesbian, specifically a black lesbian with brown skin, and not liking Korra is harder than anything anyone has ever done. I'm braver. I'm braver than every U.S. Marine for going online as a lesbian who doesn't like Legend of Korra.
Jesus
like,
on the cross, getting stabbed by the spear.
No,
like...
I'm Kakashi, like stuck in Infinite Tsukiyomi. I'm Gabumon on the cross. Like I'm suffering in a way no one has understood.
Yeah.
Like.
Good stuff. Well, I was just going to say that I was at least going to give a shout out to the fact that, you know, there have been some revivals that have worked out. And by some, I mean the 2 Mike Judge ones. So Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill recently, you know.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, it's...
King of the Hill.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
I think that you said, I think in the chat, that, like, now there's literally no excuse for people being like, oh, a revival, of course it's bad. You know.
Well, honestly, I've been kind of butthurt over how people have been talking about Phineas and Ferb,
right?
Because the conversation shifted from, you know, Well, you don't watch it for the animation, but there's a lot to appreciate too. Why do you care that it looks bad? Just be grateful. I've been waiting 10 years for this. Shut the fuck up. I want a cartoon to look good, you fucks.
Yeah.
You don't love this show as much as I do.
Yeah.
I don't care if you've been watching it longer. If you want it to look like dog shit, go right ahead. Hate my show.
Yeah.
Can talk about my show. I want my show to be good, even if it's gonna go on for 30 fucking years, bitch. I don't care.
Yeah, I think that's...
Anyway, King of the Hill.
Yeah.
A little bit better than Phineas.
Yeah.
Animation quality wise.
Yeah, I think that
I think I'm gonna watch that when we're done.
Yeah, I don't even like. To me, I get the problems that people have with the stiff animation for King of the Hill. The thing is, like, that team of people also made Common Side Effects. So like obviously it's not the exact but it's the same studio, you know.
Yeah.
Even if it's not.
It feels like a choice.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like they're just trying to mimic and be like as true to season 13, you know, the previous season that they did, as possible. Whereas like you look at Common Side Effects and it's like that's one of the best looking cartoons ever, like just ever aired on TV, you know, like television animation anyway. It's just like including anime, like it's just like gorgeous. Like I can't believe like jaw-dropping shots and camera work and everything. When we did our episode and I compared it to stuff like Mob Psycho, where it was just like the people making it care so much about crafting something that's like beautiful that it just like comes through. I haven't actually seen Scavenger's Reign, but I'm sure that's the show looks beautiful.
It also looks fucking it looks crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to that we're not complete boomer like hate everything that's new, like or rather, look, I love things that are new. One of my favorite times a year was always when they released the new pilots.
Pilot time. Oh,
for
yes.
Cartoon Network. Because I liked seeing, even if they were failed ideas, I just like to see, oh, that's cool. I hope that somebody does something similar to that, or like they're able to, like, maybe this show was passed over because something else that kind of fulfills that, you know, was brought into play.
Yeah.
Like what we hate is like the and I'm gonna be mean to executives really quickly. I just don't like the obviously an executive came in a room and went, can we get more of blank? Instead of like someone create something. That's what I hate. I hate when an executive comes in and is like, oh, can we get more of blank? And just everyone goes like, well, I guess I have to work, so sure. I'm not even mad at the creators because we know who orders this shit. Like we know who orders this shit. Like,
all right, we went on a big tangent here from Boondocks. I guess I'll just I'll just wrap it up, or like wrap it back around to Boondocks and say that like there really hasn't been anything since, I think, that has like captured the same zeitgeist that Boondocks has. That's not to say that there hasn't been shows that are popular like in the Black community, but I think the way that Boondocks is and like what it tackles, like you know, it also Boondocks, like having a sitcom, you know, even an animated one, or especially an animated one, like there's not that many cartoons over the past like 2 decades that are predominantly Black characters. Like I can think of like, you know, off the top of my head, like Proud Family around the same time. And then like like 10 years after Boondocks is like Craig of the Creek, you know, and that isn't even like predominantly Black characters. It's just like Black main character and family, and then like a diverse cast of. I will say, I do think that like Craig of the Creek hits the same zeitgeist. A lot of the same niggas that like I never knew to watch cartoons knows about Craig of the Creek because they like show their kids and they watch with their kids, and like I think there's a level of authenticity to that too that exists there. I will say like there is like more, but like they're not. I don't know. The PJs is fine. I don't got to talk shit about PJs.
There's
PJs.
I love the PJs.
Yeah, the PJs is pretty good. PJs, I like the PJs. I don't know what the fuck I started talking like that out of nowhere. Oh my god, what happened? But yeah, no, but I agree. I think there is like a authenticity that like this show has that is good, and I think like it's still like there's a lot of animation that like touches like Craig of the Creek. Like I said, I think Black Dynamite also is like underrated and very good. I had a great time watching Black Dynamite when I was watching it. And Proud Family. That's another show that had like an okay revival, I think, too. Yeah,
and it just got
it just came back the other day, and based on I haven't even started it yet, but there's some crazy shit that goes on. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah,
if that shit is a train wreck, it's gonna be a real fun one.
Yeah,
we have to see.
Yeah.
Low key, I think I should make Wyatt. We should do a fucking next year, maybe, if we feel like it. I should pull out all my weird black cartoons. We're talking about the Lucas Bros moving company and shit. Let's
I might have to return.
Should we does it like does that mean that it if the main character is black, then does that count, or does it need to be
I have to talk to Delhi and also Tariq, and we have to, as a council, have to decide if it counts. Just
right.
Like, no, but
figure it out.
But yeah, Delhi, do you have any last thoughts on Boondocks?
I think at one point, I think like the thing about Proud Family has been so interesting because, honestly, like that show and I are like very much on par in age, and so it's I don't have like memories, like huge memories of watching a lot of it live, but I have many memories of people around me that really embraced it. Like that was that was the peak for a while, and nowadays when you have the revival out, and a lot of like like cartoon fans in their late 20s who are usually white, but they can be other races as well. They try to criticize what the revival is doing, and I'm not saying that like it's perfect, because there are definitely some episodes I'm like, what the fuck.
Yeah.
But when they criticize those episodes, at some point I kind of just realized that there's a lot of cultural capital that's being left on the table, because these motherfuckers are like analyzing Kif and Big City Greens.
Right.
They're not necessarily equipped to explain the issues with Proud Family when they crop up. Because even if they're there, even if they're technically right, they're wrong at the top of their voice, which makes, kind of like navigating that frustrating. I can't talk to anybody about Proud Family.
You're so right.
Enjoy.
That's why I tried to be very delicate about Primos with that. Like, why I tried not to step on the toes of Primos, like Latin American people. Like, I didn't want to talk for them.
Because there's like, there's certain ways that you can kind of recuse yourself. At some point you got to say, all right, that's their business. All right. But, I do think there is like there's a way that Boondocks brings a lot of different people into the fray that makes it really interesting. Like it carries so much cultural capital because it manages to condense a lot of these like big, challenging, like ongoing fucking microcosms of blackness, and it puts into these really digestible, like funny chunks, and it never like gets the whole picture, that's kind of impossible. But the way that it always went about it, was mostly sincere. Even as goofy as shit as it got, it was always sincere about the culture that it was trying to summarize. So,
I guess one last thing, based on what you said, like about like not having the full cultural background and knowledge of what they're talking about. I think part of what made me so like, I don't want to just go online and say, hey, you guys cannot like Craig of the Creek, but the shit you guys are saying, it just, look, I'm sorry, you sounded a little KKK about it. Like, I think that's my big, like, the show was just too wholesome and too good. I'm like, what are we talking? Like, let's think about.
God forbid if the black weebs live in peace.
Yeah,
that's what I'm like. Let's think about, like, what if we just used our brain to think about, like, why would a show about a black kid and his family want it to be mostly wholesome and understand? Like, this is what real life is like. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna make a show about a kid who can't afford lunch and dies. How's that? Would that make you feel good, you fucking loser? Like, I try so hard not to go on the internet and go like, you're white, I hate you, die. Like, I hate doing that.
Right.
Sometimes these cartoon takes me and go, you're white, I hate you, die. And just, I feel good. And I go home and I run through flowers. But like, we're going to say white.
I was just going to say that it's not like Jeff Trammell, who's the lead writer, isn't a fan of stuff like the Boondocks. Like, I remember hearing him on the Deep End episode where they did the Boondocks and he was the guest, and talked about like, it was like an important pillar in the household, to get together and watch Boondocks. Even maybe it was uncomfortable to see Granddad naked, like while you're watching TV with your mom and dad, but whatever. So like, I think that this, I don't know. I think there's kind of a false perception that like the people that are making these certain shows, they have, I don't know, they're very like myopic about it, or they're very like, like even with something like Steven Universe, like I always felt that the discussion about it being like, oh, this is like this safe, tender, queer thing, where it's like, I'm glad now people are realizing it's like, no, this is some fucked up, psychosexual, messy lesbians. Just like there's some frankly psychotic things that these characters get up to on like that level in the show, because like, and that's just like never done in a children's show, and it's definitely not fucking done now. Like it's that the ground that show broke at the time is still yet to be mined, like even by other shows that have like queer representation, like the Owl House or whatever, like didn't even come close to where that went. But that's not to criticize Dana Terrace, who she's a real one. Don't get me wrong. She was very vocal against Disney for its bullshit, like while her show was airing.
But it's just like the people reviewing and talking about these shows, they just don't have the context to see the entire picture. And it's not like, and I'm not like getting mad at I'm not getting mad at them just because they don't have it. It's just that there's this level of like confidence that is unearned, where these people talk about something like but like you don't get the whole thing. Like this is like the level of like someone like, I don't know anything about rocket science, and I'm going, I know why that can't fly. Or like, do you? Like maybe you should like read a book or like think about it, and like, I don't know. It's the Doug Walker effect. I'm sorry. I don't.
Yeah, I would have never. Obviously, I would never have fucking talked online. Like I would never like make a video or something like that was like a review or a declarative statement beyond like a Twitter post about Boondocks on my own, like as a white guy. Like I would want to have a discussion with any of my black friends. I'm sure there are plenty of white guys on the internet that have zero black friends, so that's, you know, that's also a big issue with like
could that be the problem?
Yeah, but that's why it's good, especially like, you know, being in like the cartoon community and everything, is actually like talking to your peers and you know, interacting with them and understanding different perspectives and different you know, takes and opinions and whatever, instead of just sort of like, I have my take and then that's it, and then I'm not gonna conform at all. Like I'm just not gonna shift it or evolve it based on
I don't need any other information.
New information whatsoever.
No, sir.
Not me. I'm right, and I've never thought about anyone else's experience except for my own world experience.
Yeah,
my world experience kicks ass. Ren and Stimpy's the best cartoon ever. But yeah, that's a good way.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Ripping Friends.
Yeah, which aired on Adult Swim for some reason. I actually did see the first episode of that show when it aired on Fox. So I will say that, but I know they eventually like canceled it after like a couple episodes. Anyway, Delhi, where the hell can we find you on the internet? Tell us your socials and plug your channel, all that good stuff.
Yeah, the Wacky Delhi on YouTube. Handles on Twitter and Blue Sky are just Delhi Wacky.
What's your most recent video? What did you?
I don't even remember.
Hold on, yeah,
I think it was about. I think it was about this French show about these two gay dogs.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And Lupin. Yeah.
I remember seeing that and being like, oh, that's like a furry show. Like I immediately saw
that. It is. I've been gearing up for like I started this series about Phineas and Ferb 2 years ago, and I gotta finish it this summer. So I'm probably gonna drop a lot of those soon.
Cool.
And then after that, I'll have 2 retrospectives not related to that done by the end of the year.
Hell yeah.
I recently watched through your false woobification of Horrid Henry video because I didn't know fucking anything about Horrid Henry, but I did. I
hate that show.
But I had seen a lot of like what you were talking about, where people are like, there's literally nothing wrong with what he was doing, and the parents are so mean, they need to be blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. It's very, very fun. Me personally, I like to watch videos about subject matter that I have like no frame, like really no basis in knowledge of, so that I can kind of like learn something new. And you know, that's what like there's a lot like a channel that I love is Unlucky Tug, who does like Thomas the Tank Engine stuff. Not a Thomas fan. Don't really know anything about that world or anything. But it's just seeing somebody that like has so much knowledge about it, talking about it, and like conveying his feelings and everything. Even if I don't agree with some of the ways that he can convey it, it still is like a valuable thing to experience.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He brought me in with his Bubba video.
Yeah,
that shit was fire.
I think that like either you or somebody else posted that in the cartoon community Discord when it dropped, and I watched it. I was like, hold on, he's cooking here. I need to follow this guy.
Like at this point, we got like fucking Barney and Friends video essayists, okay,
That's
and
good,
they're like
yeah.
actually making fire.
Good,
So,
yeah. That's awesome. Like, good. Like, people should. I think
Yeah.
that it should be. Like, people should be allowed to make these kind of like deep dive. Like, yeah, I'm taking this seriously, and you just take it seriously with me, okay? Please, like, let's just agree. Let's make a social contract that this stupid, pointless thing that I'm talking about is actually the most important thing in the world.
Dude, I should.
Just, yeah.
You guys may want to make a retrospective on a show I hate and pretend to like it the entire time.
Right.
Just like throw a real wrench into the whole thing and just suck ass. You know, just be a dick.
Yeah.
Critical Role animation retrospective coming soon.
Right. Yeah.
Whoa.
But all right, Morgan, how about you? What's your social thing?
You can find me at Girl Next Vor on Tumblr. I post about mostly Vampire the Masquerade over there, so you might not want to follow me there. And you can also find me on Blue Sky, also at Girl Next Door. I talk about nonsense. I post Thin Car.
Right.
I draw art. I talk about cartoons. You gotta hurry though, because I heard that a new relaxer that is secretly a bomb is gonna blow up Blue Sky. So you gotta get there before that happens. Wyatt, where can we find you?
Find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at WazPRanger, WAZP Ranger. It's mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do post about podcasts I'm doing, videos I'm making. Right now, I'm not in the middle of. I'm kind of in the middle of deciding what to make next as far as like videos go. So I'll let you know when I've decided, or maybe I already have by the time that this episode airs, because it's like a month off. But yeah, so check out my socials, check out my YouTube channel, It's Only Magic, cartoon retrospectives and everything. If you're listening to this on that channel, great. You can get the next episode, which will be Transformers Animated, on Patreon right now. That'll be a very easy episode for me to do, because I just know the show so well, just as a huge Transformers fan, that I don't need to rewatch any of it. But yep, you can get that episode right now if you pay at $3 on that. If you only have $1, that's fine. You still get Wow Cool Robot. It's me and my friend Wayne going through every single robot in existence and reviewing it. They're like 5 to 10 minute episodes. We record them in like at 10 at a time, and then just like throw them all up. Just started putting up new episodes. They should still be coming out, at the point that this episode is. So all right. Wow. Long ass episode where we went on a huge tangent like at the end.
Oh, that's the Buffoon special.
Exactly, but that's what's beautiful about podcasts, baby, is that the conversation, a topic can lead to other types of conversations that are not.
We kind of, I think, like the tirade and complain about the studios and reboots. We kind of hit all of the Buffoon classics. Oh wait, we forgot one. Fuck you, Chris Savino. Now we hit all the classics. That's a good way to end the episode.
Hell yeah.
But all right, Delhi, thank you so much for coming on and being the guest and chatting with us about the Boondocks. And join us next time, everybody. We talk about Transformers Animated. See you there.
Bye.